to Mellow TV Music Maker. Now, as we continue to feature those who have made or are making an impact within the reggae arena with their creativity, inspiration, and unique sound by creating the music or just by playing it, today joining us is one of reggae music's most selected international musical emissaries, the Live Wyya Band. Take it away!
We are Live Wyya, and you're watching Mellow Music Maker. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Mellow Music Maker.
Thank you for having us.
Your band is regarded as an international band, an ambassador of reggae music. Basically, you and Arnaldo Bolt founded and formed the band in 1999. Take us back to the selection process. How did you guys make the decision on the talents you would culture into the band?
Well, thanks for having us, by the way. Back in those days, we grew up in the hotel circuit. We grew up in church, rather. But in the hotel circuit, then you technically know everybody who play what, who play how, and then personality, right? So me and Jomi, we sit and we observe a lot of people over the years. We know who is who have a local temper, who don't. So we pick the people who we can live with, even more than who can play the best. Right, so then we formed the group Live Wyya. Yeah.
There is an obvious unique quality about your band. All the players of instrument, singing, harmony, vocal. Was this an important aspect of the selection process when selecting band members?
Yes and no. Over the years, we will be on the road with a lot of different artists, so we get the experience of knowing, how the plane tickets buy, how promoter can afford to bring up how much people and all of that. So we sit and me and Nando, we talk about it, and we come up with the idea, if we can sing our own harmony, we would reduce a lot of expenditure. So none of us couldn't really sing, to be honest. But we practice and practice and practice and rehearse and practice, and this is the outcome.
Introduce us to the members.
Okay, I'm Carl Edwards. People know me as CY, CFAT. It's just me. And I'm the bass player and the band leader. And drums, you have Arnaldo Bolt, aka Gold Teeth, Powering P. Right? And our lead vocals, Wyya, Jerome Smichael. He's the lead vocals, and guitar you have Michael Donner, and then Chadwick Donner, father and son. And keyboards you have Chaddy and Monroe, the genius, and Duppy, Kadim Martin, and an engineer we have Zico, Linval Walton. That's the whole crew. Management now, Lucia Nesbitt, Rising Roots, that's her firm. And our booking agency is Carib Link by Clarence.
Talk to me about the personality, because I realize you have nicknames for everybody. How important it is for you guys to be in agreement or to have one objective at the end of the day? How important it is?
The agreement is not hard, because we take a vote. Sometimes we split in the middle now, like the 6 of us. So when it's split in the middle, then I'll sometimes step out and take the lead. But to make a decision is not really hard, because we take a vote, and if we have 4, say 3 leave. So say the 4 go, win.
Bring us through the musical catalog of the band, all the musical works that you guys have done.
Whoa, that's a long one. All right. This is our 3rd album, Back to the Roots. Our first album was called Solid Meditation. The 2nd album, Spread the Love. And the 3rd album, Back to the Roots, because we notice, we are moving away from our roots, so we do this album to, carry us back in time to the founders, We have a lot of singles out. You know, we do singles with Juna Kelly, Capleton, Bushman, and a lot of songs out there. So, you know, just find us on social media, and you know, all the songs are there for you to enjoy.
Talk to us about the making, the putting together of Like a Rock. Very popular, really popular. Talk to us about that.
Well, Like a Rock was exclusively produced by Dazzle Entertainment. He called us one day from Canada and said, "Carl, I have this song, and this song, you know, I know you guys will do well with it." So I said, "Send it, come and hear it." Honestly, I never liked it at first. But when I listen back to the words and keep pressuring me, I said, "Carl, yeah man, I want you guys to record a song." So I called Jummy, and Jummy listened to it and we said, "All right, we arrange up a rehearsal and thing. And we rehearsed it one day and, you know, put everything together. So we went to the studio now and called in the maestro, Dean Fraser. And, you know, that is the magic that comes out. Yeah.
Oh, Georgia, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Georgia, girl. Oh, girl, girl. Mighty Georgia. Mm-hmm. Stood there boldly, swaying in the sun. Felt like a million, felt like number one. Heights of summer, never felt as strong. Like a rock.
And the video, because watching the video, that showcase all the guys, you know, singing on that wait, no instrument, or you play the instrument, you hear someone step forward and singing, but you're like, everybody's on a mic, so what's going on?
With the video? The video, all right, the video was spontaneous. We do a part of it in Portland, a part of it in Ocho-Rios. We all put the video, we all write the script for the video, put in our own little pieces, and it was fun. That video is all about our personality coming out.
Let's talk about Never Love Again. Interesting piece. Talk to us about
Okay,
writing.
Never Love Again was written by a good friend of mine, Clive Provost. Most people know him as Jabez. Yeah, I make an album for Jabez about 1999, but then he became a more serious Christian, so to speak, and decided he wasn't going to put out the songs. So then we took Never Love Again and re-recorded it. So that song is like for all the people out there who get hurt and give up on love. You know, there's always a place in the heart waiting to love again.
Definitely. Talk to our viewers in terms of what make the Live Wire band so unique, not just locally, but internationally?
All right, the way we live with each other, that's a major fact in the song that comes out. Our personalities, and we take music very serious. We rehearse a lot, we practice a lot, and we all have the same aim and where we want to go and where we want to be.
What's the most memorable performance? Dating back from 1999 when it started. What's the most memorable, something that you would never forget?
All right, I could say the two most memorable performance was Battle of the Bands, when we won Battle of the Bands and we won represent Jamaica in England, and Japan Splash, along with the great Gregory Isaacs. Those are my two most memorable performances.
When you sit down as a band and putting together a music selection or a performance, you're planning for a performance, how do you do that? Take us through the planning process and how you select the songs.
Okay, when I have a performance based on the topic of the performance or the nature of the performance, I always call Jummy because Lando now is the street man, so to speak. He know what going out there all the time. So I call Lando and say, "Lando, we have a show, we have Jerk Fest to do." So Lando think about the young people that is there versus the more mature people. For example, a Teen Splash, I call Lando and he always know what to select. You know, so I don't really think about the selection, I just leave it to him and the singer.
For you, Carl, where did the love for music come from?
You know, my love for music, to be honest, started out in the church. There was this girl I really love her. So in order for me to get to that girl, I have to learn one instrument. And today I'm so happy I did, because this love of the music and the music carry me around the world, and I'm very grateful.
That's tremendous. Looking at reggae then, in the 90s, and looking at reggae music now, in the 21st century, how has it changed? Is it the same thing? How do you view it?
It is not the same, to be honest. That's why we came up with the idea, back to the roots. It's time change, and you expect changes with time, but we don't want to stray too far from our roots. The message, even though the music might change, the message is there in some way, but if you look like on the dancehall side, it really running away, in my opinion. For the roots track reggae, people like Chronix and Portage and the rest of them, it look more modernized, but it's still nice, still there. But for Live Wire, we are keeping it very rootical and in a modern way.
What are those songs that you would dare not to even touch? That's not a part of the niche of the band. The type of music that you would not.
Well, our motto is always positive energy, right? So from the beginning, that's what we stand for, positiveness. And I grew up in the church, Joe, my pastor's son, and most of us grew up in the church. We stand for principle. So therefore you can have fun singing, but make sure your little daughter, your granddaughter, or the kids in the school can listen to it. So our pledge is to do positive music, to push positive energy at all time.
Being a part of the Mackie Conscious project, of being a part of the planning of Artists Against Crime and Violence, what you see in terms of music can change the minds of people as it relates to the crime and violence, and how can you impact the crime and violence situation as artists, as musicians?
Well, all right, I'm proud to be a part of that board, the Entertainers Against Crime and Violence. Me, Mackie Conscious, and George Thomas, Mr. Geddes himself. 3 of us, you know, it was 6 of us first, but come down to 3. Music, it depends on how you look at music, or you interpret. Just like the Bible, if you interpret the thing wrong, you're going to use it wrong. That's why we take a vow, so we'll put out positive music. But for those who don't put out positive music, it have an impact on the younger brains. When a man says, I'm going to shut out your head, it don't literally mean I'm going to do that. But some people take it literally. So for me, for the group Live Wire, we decide to say anything we put out have to be positive all the way, because you never know who take it literally. People watch movies and do a lot of crazy. The first time I watched Superman, I put on a towel on my back. I was a little kid and jump off of the wall and chip up the whole of myself. So you never know. So, you know, positiveness brings positive results.
Definitely. What's the future for Live Wire? What's the future like?
Well, I'm really hoping and wishing that this pandemic over quick and fast, because, you know, for last year, you know, we lose a lot of tours. And we are currently working on our 4th album, so we're looking forward to do a European tour, a US tour, and, you know, Africa. Just take the music out there, you know, around the world. That is always, you know, our future. Yeah, that is what we are always looking for.
If a person's coming in the music business, what would be your advice to them?
If you put out a song, no, yes, just make it properly and done. I mean, it's not every musician is a producer, and not every producer is a musician. Don't try to do 10 songs and end up do 1 good song. You better do 1 good song and then try to do 10 songs. So my advice is keep it positive, make sure, you know, music right, singing right, on key, keep it positive, and the stars is the limit.
And finally, what would you want Live Wire band legacy to be like? Looking back, person scale, this is what Live Wire is known for. What would you want Live Wire legacy to be?
I would like it to be, you know, like Bob, or even more, just being ambitious. You know, I would like to know that when I become an old man, people can look at me and say, well done. You know, I guess that's, you know, all of us views, you know, to take the music to the highest level possible. You know, so we are still hoping for that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And I just wanted the fans, you know, to check us out. Instagram, live.wyya, Facebook, live.wyya, YouTube, live.wyya. We're all around.
No, 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 no. So we no want no more bloodshed. So we no want no innocent people dead. So we no want no more bloodshed. No, 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 no.
All right, Arnaldo, thank you for joining us on Mellow Music Maker. You're one of the founders, you know, of
Yeah.
the Live Wire band.
Thank you so much for having me.
Your experience, the early days.
The early days, well, as Carl so eloquently put it, we all grew up in the church, so I was always around music. You know, my uncle was a gospel singer, I had a band, and I always used to watch the band and want to play something, but never had a chance. So I used to beat a tambourine between my foot at church, and them said, "This boy, I look like he want to play drum, you know." So that's where it started from for me, you know, from in the church. And we branch off to the hotels, and you know, the hotel is a training ground for most musicians on the North Coast to say. That's how we learn a lot of songs, a lot of different things about music itself.
When you branch off from church into, you know, as they would say, secular thing.
Children know.
What was the family? What was the parents? You know, how was the transition like?
It was not an easy one because you could say I was a rebellious kid at one point in my life. You know, like I grew up in a very strict household. I think if I wanted to go to my gate because my house was on a hill, I had to fill out a whole application form. So you know, that's where I'm coming from. So when I wanted to do music, I used to teeth out with one of my cousins, Dale Aslam. He's a bass player. And he used to go to Mommy Bay in Senton, in Ocherius, to rehearse with this gospel group. And I would just run out with him on Saturdays. So when I started coming to the North Coast now and trying to get gigs and trying to learn the music, my parents weren't having it at all. And then at one point I started growing my hair.